Hey everybody, this is probability day 2. So today we're going to talk about independent events and dependent events. So independent events is just like it sounds. It's when two events do not have an effect on each other, so they're independent from each other. To find the probability of both occurring, we find the individual probabilities and then we multiply them together. So for this first example, we have 5 cards in a box. 2 are blue and 3 are green. What is the probability of getting a blue and then a green card if you replace the cards? Okay, so this is independent because after I pull that first card out, I'm putting it back. So it's just like I'm restarting all over again. It's not affecting the second time that I pull that card. Okay, so we're going to find the individual probability of each, and then we're multiplying them together. So the difference between today and yesterday is that when we are finding independent events and dependent events, you're saying that 2 events are happening right after each other, whereas with the mutually exclusive and non-mutually exclusive, we were asking for or. I can get a red or a star. So that was having 2 things happening together. You're adding them together, whereas independent is like I'm having one thing happen and then another thing happen. So for example 1, we have what is the probability of getting a blue card? So the blue card is going to be 2 out of 5. The green card is going to be 3 out of 5. And then I'm just multiplying these together. So I've got 2 times 3 is 6 out of 25. Okay. And then you always have to see if you can simplify them. If you can't, then you're just done. Okay. So 6 out of 25 is going to be my answer here. Okay, because I found the probability of the blue, then the probability of the green, and then I just multiplied them together. Okay, so that's independent events. So for a dependent event, that's when 2 events do affect each other. So they're dependent on each other. The one event changes the second one. So to find the probability of both occurring, we do the same thing. We find the individual probabilities and then we multiply them, but the individual probabilities can change. So for example 2, we have the exact same situation here, but we are not replacing the cards. So after I pull the first card, then that's going to change what happens for the second one. So now my total is going to go down because after I pull out that first card, then that means that the total is now going to be 4 instead of 5. So first we're going to find the probability of getting a blue card. So the probability of blue is still 2 out of 5 because that's where I'm first starting. I've got 2 out of 5. Then for the second one, I took that card and it's gone now. So for your probabilities, you assume that you got what you wanted, because if I'm actually pulling a card out, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to get a blue. But when we're dealing with this, we're just saying, okay, I'm going to pull a blue and then a green. So we're saying that this happened. So I pulled out a blue card. So I've got 2 out of 5. Now I need the green card. So if I pulled out a blue, now the blue is going to be at 1 because I took one away. The total is going to be at 4 because there's a card that's gone now. So for this second one, I'm looking for green. So my green is going to be 3 out of 4. Okay, because I still have just as many green cards because none of those went away. But now my total went down by 1 because I took out a card and I didn't replace it. So now we're doing the same thing, just multiply across the top. I've got 6 out of 20, and then we have to simplify that, divide them both by 2. We get 3 out of 10, and there's our final answer. Okay. So again, like for most of these, we just have to think through what's happening. If I'm not putting something back, that means that there's not 5 cards for me to pick from anymore. There's 4 cards because I took one of them out. And then I'm just multiplying them together because I want this to happen and then this to happen. So I multiply straight across. Okay, for the next one, this is the same situation as we did yesterday, but we're going to be asking some different questions here. So I've got 10 shapes, 2 red stars, 3 blue stars, 1 red circle, 1 green circle, 3 blue squares. So if you're picking 2 shapes and then I replace them each time, so for this one, I'm replacing them so my total isn't changing. So this is an independent event because I'm putting them back. What is the probability of getting a green shape and then a star? So we're going to find green shape first. Okay, so there is 1 out of 10 green times. Now I'm looking for a star. So I've got 2 red stars and 3 blue stars. So I have 5 out of 10 are stars. So now I'm just multiplying across. 5 out of 100 Divide those both by 5, I get 1 out of 20. Okay, and again, the total didn't change because I'm putting them back. So that's an independent event. So now for question number 4, we'll leave that up there. I'm looking for 3 shapes, and then do not replace them. Okay, so for this one, this is dependent because I'm not replacing them, so my total is going to go down each time. So what is the probability of getting a star? So let's look at our stars first. So I've got 2 and I've got 3, so that's 5 stars. So 5 out of 10. Okay, and then I want a square. So my square is going to be, there are 3 squares. And my total is going to go down by 1. Okay, and then a red shape. So I've got 2 red stars and 1 red circle. So for this one, remember, we took out a star and we didn't replace it. So the 2 here goes down to 1. So I've got 1 red star and I've got 1 red circle. So I've got 2 out of 8 here. Okay, so it goes down each time that we take one out. So we went down to 9 here when I took one of those out, and then I took out a star and then a square. So then the square went down to 2 now. So each time you're going down by 1. So now I've got red, red, 2 out of 8. So then I'm just multiplying straight across here. So I'm doing 5 times 3 times 2. And I get 30 out of 720. And then I just need to divide them and see if they simplify. And it simplifies to 1 out of 24. Okay, so biggest thing from today, independent events, you're just multiplying straight across, just find each individual probability, multiply them. For dependent events, you have to make sure that you're watching the total and you're going down each time that you need to. Okay, so you're taking one away. So here I took away the star, then I took away a square, then I took away a red shape. Okay, so go ahead and work on your homework for probability day 2.